They attacked Israel on the 7th of October.
Yeah.
They massacred Jews on the 7th of October after we evacuated Gaza for their benefit. What is not clear in what I say?
How many of the Palestinian children do you think should come to, say, Israel and to be allowed to settle there?
To settle in Israel?
Yes.
Why?
You said
Why?
Israel has no right to just take Gaza, to just take the West Bank, to expel
We didn't take Gaza.
to expel 8-9 million Palestinians. You have no right to do this. Now, I understand you care about Israeli
Arabs
children
and
who died,
Gazans should
as do
be-
I. But I'm able to care about both sides of children who've died. Why don't you care, seemingly, about the Palestinian children who've died? Why can't you express any sympathy or sorrow or empathy with the children who've died in Gaza? Are you able to do that?
What's going on, everybody? We're back at it again. Piers Morgan invites the grandmother of the settler mafia herself, Daniella Weiss, to defend the indefensible. And wow, does she deliver. Zero empathy for 20,000 dead Palestinian kids, but cue the waterworks if a single Israeli child stubs a toe. Watch closely of her twisted history that bends like a pretzel, declaring Palestinians a Roman marketing gimmick while claiming divine real estate rights for every hill between the Jordan and the Mediterranean. She literally proposes shipping Gazan families off to Egypt or Indonesia, yet recoils in horror when Piers suggests carving a silver out of Israel for those same civilians. That, my friend, is hypocrisy served flaming. Stick with me here, because Piers is going to press her 4 separate times, quote unquote, any sorrow for those children, and Rees responds with the emotional range of a granite countertop. Teach your kids not to hate Jews. Full stop. No tears, no hesitation, just straight-faced settler supremacy. So grab your popcorn, strap in. By the end of this video, you'll see why Rees and Piers are going to battle it down. Don't blink, don't click away, and definitely don't forget to roast the algorithm with the like and share so people witness this mask-off moment. Let's roll the tape.
There are 2 million people living in Gaza. Half of those people are under 18 years of age. More than 20,000 Gazan children have now been killed since October the 7th. My follow-up question is, how many of the innocent Gazans, how many of the Palestinian children do you think should come to, say, Israel and to be allowed to settle there?
To settle in Israel?
Yes.
Why?
You said if you're going to tell them, if you tell them to leave, well, because if you tell them to leave their home and you say that they should live in other countries, why would Israel not want to provide a home for them?
No. Because the conflict between Israel and the Gazans brought this chapter into its end. We don't take any chance anymore. Many soldiers told me, some of them from my own family, that they were witness to so much talk and propaganda against Israel. And I think that there shouldn't be anymore any any connection with between the Gaza population and the Jewish state. Let them be in other countries. There's 100 million Egyptians in Egypt, so there will be another 500,000 Gazans in Egypt, and some will be in Indonesia, other countries.
Okay, but if I suggest that we carve out an area of Israel to put the Palestinians, we just slice off. Let me finish. We slice off an area of Israel, and all the Israelis who currently live there have to leave and go and live in another country. Are you happy about that? Would you be happy with that?
You have some psychological need to slice pieces of the tiny state of Israel?
No, I'm just saying.
What's this need?
Listen, Gaza, as you know, well, hang on, let me finish. Gaza, as you know, is a very small territory. I'm talking about a similar-sized territory.
Is what? Gaza is what?
I'm talking about, it's a very small territory.
Gaza is what?
Gaza is very small.
And I know.
So I'm talking about taking...
Indonesia...
hang on. I'm talking about
Africa is big.
Let me finish. I'm talking about taking the Gazan people the innocent Gazan people, not Hamas, but innocent Gazan people. And I'm talking about taking a piece of Israel and removing all the Israelis who currently live there and sending them off to other countries. And then you put the Palestinian people in that space in Israel. How would you feel about that?
It's not a question of feel. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You're
why would that be wrong? Why would that be wrong, Mrs. Weiss? Why would that be wrong?
Because it failed. We left Gaza in 2005, and we were promised that Gaza will be Singapore. And I didn't believe in it, but many Israelis did believe in it. And it turned into hell. Upper hell, down, lower hell, hell. And I think no more experiments. We are not a laboratory. We are a nation that wants to live in the land that was given to us, to the Jews, by God.
But
this
you
is what
actually,
you want.
the
Arabs, the Gazans don't want it.
Yeah, but
so I don't want to be an experiment, a laboratory with experiments on the Jewish people.
No, so you've made it clear. You think it will be...
I answer you very... I want to tell you, what is your private name? Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about, too.
My name...
What is your name? I want to address you.
My name is Piers Morgan. Yeah.
Morgan? Can I address you, Morgan?
You can call me what you like. My name is Piers Morgan.
Piers? Piers, help me. Piers, what? I want to address you normally as two people who speak.
Call me Piers,
so
it's
Piers
fine.
Morgan, this is what my...
Call me Piers.
Piers, okay. So I want to tell you, you want to proceed with an intelligent dialogue, or you're the interviewer and answering. Let's continue. But if you want to repeat this experiment of putting Gazans in Israel, the answer is simple. It will never be.
No, I heard you. I just wonder.
So much.
Okay. I just wonder.
Okay.
Hang on. I just want to give you a question. I just wonder. Obviously, you're outraged by the idea of Palestinian people taking the place of Israelis in Israel, and I understand that. But what gives you the right to then tell Palestinian people, innocent people, children, who've had nothing to do with Hamas, what gives you the right to uproot... Let me finish. To uproot those people from their homes and expel them in what would be ethnic cleansing, which is a war crime, as you know.
They attacked Israel on the 7th of October.
Yeah.
They massacred Jews on the 7th of October after we evacuated Gaza for their benefit. What is not clear in what I say?
And you and your little country attacked Gaza 50 folds to what Hamas did on October 7th. Indiscriminate killing and famine, and now attacking kids relentlessly. Don't reset back to the October 7th talking points. That ship has sailed.
Well, what is not clear is that you have also, in going after Hamas in Gaza, massacred between 70 and 100,000 Palestinians. And at what point does that become disproportionate? At what point does the fact that the Israeli government continues to prosecute this war in a way that kills so many children, does this become something which is completely unacceptable? Okay.
Not acceptable. So it's a fact. If they had not, you say that it is not acceptable. I understand that it's not acceptable by you. I think that if the Gazans hadn't started, the Hamas hadn't started the attack, there wouldn't have been a war, and we, for instance, as people who were evacuated from Gaza, in the past 20 years, I must say it's kind of a unpleasant confession for me, but this is the truth of the matter, that we haven't dealt with the idea of returning to Gaza, returning to our homes, because we said, okay, there was a contract, we gave it away. We didn't want it to happen. It happened, and that's it. The gates closed.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the problem, Daniella. You have no right. Israel has no right to just take Gaza, to just take the West Bank, to expel
We didn't take Gaza.
to expel 8-9 million Palestinians. You have no right to do this. You have had no right to occupy Gaza for the last
so what
God
do you
knows
suggest?
how long. Where do you think you have this right to do all this? You're furious at the idea of any part of Israel being given up for Palestinians. Fine. Okay. But why would you then think it's fine for you to take over Gaza and the West Bank?
May I ask you, why do you repeat the same question 3 times? You know, I don't see your face, so it's kind of difficult without the gestures. So
well, let me simplify it for you. What gives you the right?
What
gives you the right to think that you can expel millions and millions of Palestinians?
Look here. I don't know if the viewers, the people who see your program, have the patience for a historical summary. As the State of Israel was established in 1948, 3 days after the Holocaust, and 3 years after the Holocaust, and 2,000 years after the dispersion, after the Romans dispersed the Jewish nation. And then somehow there is an ingathering of the Jews in the land of Israel, the biblical land. And the biblical land that we hold to now is very tiny. We tried, according to the partition plan first, to be satisfied with a tiny, tiny piece of land where we have independence. And then when we were small, I would say tiny, and even without Jerusalem, we tried to manage a Jewish independence in the biblical state of Israel, and we were prevented from living this way. I was born before the state of Israel, so I know all this history from my own flesh and blood and my own family, and my father wounded in the War of Independence. So we tried to live in a tiny land, and the Arabs didn't let us live. So then there was the 6-Day War, and where I live now was liberated. I say liberated because it's the heart of our homeland in the 6-Day War. And since then, we tried to live peacefully, and the Arabs don't let us. So how can you try to change facts? Now, you gave me a chance to relate a tiny summary of history. If you have another way to put it, please go ahead.
Okay, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way.
I am a guest.
Let me put it this way. The UK government has sanctioned you personally in May of this year. You were described as having been involved in threatening, perpetrating, promoting and supporting acts of aggression and violence against Palestinian individuals. You've been described as the head of extremist settlers. The vast majority of the international community, including the United Kingdom, consider the settlement illegal under international law. Last year, the UN's top court, the International Court of Justice, said that Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories is against international law, and Israel should stop settlement activity in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem and end its illegal occupation of those areas and the Gaza Strip as soon as possible. So that's a bit of history for you, which is that you have been seen as the godmother of Israeli extremists who believe that you have a right to all this land, you have a right to settle where you want to, you have a right to expel all the Palestinians and to take over their land. And I say to you that actually, under international law, you do not have that right. It's actually a crime, what you're doing. And you should stop doing it. So that's my question. My question for you is, why do you continue to break the law?
I don't know. You know, you present things in a very journalistic way, so I don't know.
Well, they're facts.
You say, do it.
Everything I just read you is a fact.
Yes. What facts? What facts?
I just read you the facts. I can read them again if you didn't hear them.
You know, Morgan, listen to this. I never hide what I do. I am being interviewed by you and by everyday media people come to this home and to the hills where I establish communities. And I tell what I think and what I do and what I plan. So if there is anything in what is so openly exposed that can be considered illegal.
Well, you're committing war crimes.
What is illegal in what I do?
You're committing war crimes.
Why? So you are speaking to me now.
Yeah.
You're giving so much time in your program to a person who commits war crimes.
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
I'm holding you to account.
What's the sense?
I'm holding you to account for your war crimes. I'm telling you should stop your war crimes. I'm telling you, you have you have no right to displace millions of Palestinians and kick them out of their homes. You don't have that right.
Morgan, you hope that through your program you will enhance the chance that I will be put to trial? Is this why you give me so much time in your program?
Yeah, I think ultimately you should face a trial. Yeah, you should. You're breaking the law. Yeah. And you're inspiring other people to break the law.
Okay. What shall I tell you? I don't think it's not on my part to cooperate with a person if you want to do what you said, if I heard you well in the beginning of this program, that you want to give a chance for different people to express their views.
Sure.
This is journalistic. This is respectable.
I've heard your views. I just don't agree with them. I've heard your views.
But then you said you want to
enhance.
You want to enhance the chance that I will be put to trial? Well, I am not sure this is journalistic, but I'm with you in your hands now until this interview is finished.
I noticed that
your decision.
I noticed that so far you haven't referred to the people of Gaza or the West Bank as Palestinians. Do you believe they're called Palestinians?
Palestine the name was given by Adrian, the emperor of Rome, who wanted to obliterate, to put an end to the Jewish existence in the world. So he gave a peculiar name to Jerusalem, Ilia Capitolina, and Israel, Palestina. And he tried very hard. And indeed, we were dispersed. And somehow, after so many years and so much persecution, we returned. And we are a successful nation.
Are they Palestinians?
So why should I support the distorted idea of Adrian, who failed? And now, after the revival of the Jewish state, Arabs from different countries come here and want to enjoy the treasures. I would say most of them are spiritual, but the treasures of the Holy Land.
Right, but just to be clear, you don't believe they're Palestinians.
The Jewish success.
You will not refer to them as Palestinians, right?
I think that Palestinians were invented by Adrian, and that the Arabs that come to Israel today want to get for themselves the success of the Jewish state that was created here after many years of dispersion.
Okay, and Mrs. Weiss, how do you feel about the fact that over 20,000 Palestinian children have now been killed since October the 7th in Gaza?
I think that the Palestinians, as you said, I said Palestinians, the Gazans and all Arabs around should stop attacking Israel.
Right, I just asked you how you thought about 20,000 children being killed by the IDF. So how do you feel about that?
I think that the parents should be very careful before they teach the children to hate Jews and to kill Jews.
No, that wasn't my question.
That
wasn't my question. Sorry to be persistent, but my question...
That was your question.
My question was, how do you feel?
Answer.
My question was, how do you feel? How do you personally feel about over 20,000 Palestinian children now being killed since October the 7th in Gaza? How do you feel about that?
I think that Arabs, Gazans or Jordanians or Syrians, whoever, should be very, very careful with the way they educate the children.
Yeah, that wasn't my question. That wasn't my question.
Many of them.
Can you answer my question?
That was my answer.
So you don't
to your
care?
question.
You have no
choose-
thoughts about these children at all?
You choose your questions, and I answer them
Of course.
the way I believe is right.
But just to be clear, you have nothing to say about 20,000 children being killed. Nothing at all.
I have a lot to say about everything that happened as a result of the massacre of the 7th of October.
Now, I understand you care about Israeli
Arabs
children
and
who died,
Gazans should
as do
be
I. But I'm able to care about both sides of children who've died. Why don't you care, seemingly, about the Palestinian children who've died? Why can't you express any sympathy or sorrow or empathy with the children who've died in Gaza? Are you able to do that?
I warn all Arabs from all sides, from all borders, warn them, stop educating children to hate
So just to be
Jews
clear, I've now
and
offered you
massacre.
three times.
I made myself very clear.
Oh, you've made yourself very clear.
You asked me 5 times.
I'm going to give you one last.
You asked me 7 times.
Okay, I'm going to give you one last chance to offer some empathy or sympathy or sorrow about the deaths of 20,000 children in Gaza. Are you capable of doing that?
I can tell you that had you cared, and I don't believe you that you care a tiny bit about one killed person, if you do not use the means that you have as a media person to stop educating children.
I gave you 4 chances.
Jews. Okay, you gave me 7. You gave me 7.
And you know what? You couldn't give a damn, could you?
That you are to blame more than me.
You don't care, and all you want is all the Palestinians gone. You can barely even bring yourself to say their name. All you want is to take over the West Bank and Gaza. You don't care how many die in the process. You want them all gone. You don't care, do you? That's the bottom line.
As you said, the audience will judge.
Yeah, they will. Daniella Weiss, thank you very much for coming on Uncensored. I appreciate it.
And that, folks, is the grand finale. Daniella Weiss sidestepping war crimes rap sheets like they're potholes, declaring Palestinians a Roman branding gimmick, and flogging her one-way ticket at a Palestine scheme with the gusto of budget airline pitch, all while wondering out loud why anyone interviews her mid-confession. Piers Morgan, hats off, kept the heat cranked to sear, morphing the host into moral prosecutor and handing Daniella 4 crystal-clear chances to show a flicker of empathy for 20,000 dead children, yet each time she answered with the emotional warmth of a frozen turnip. If your jaw hit the floor watching her shrug off mass civilian carnage while throwing a fit over a hypothetical Israeli relocation, hammer that like, blast this ideological demolition across your feeds, and subscribe so you don't miss the next showdown where propaganda meets a blowtorch. Question for you all though, after witnessing Daniella's stone-cold indifference, do you think settler extremism like her are fringe pyromaniacs, or the unfiltered face of the current Israeli policy? Drop your verdict below and ignite the debate. Catch y'all later.